Hey, welcome back to the State of Love and Trust. It's episode 268. And this week we're going to ease back into the Pearl Jam content after last week's really heavy Matt Cameron episode. We're going to answer your questions in a mailbag. And we're also going to discuss the most overrated and underrated tracks on Dark Matter. What could they be? Stay tuned to find out. All next on the State of Love and Trust.
Oh, did I say something wrong? Oh, did I walk out of step?
Hey, I'm Mike McCready from Pearl Jam.
Hey kids, this is Mark Arm from Mudhoney.
I'm Kevin Martin from Candlebox.
Hi, I'm Dave Cruzen.
I'm Tim Montana.
Hey, I'm James Joseph from James and the Cold Gun.
I am Matt Vaughn from Easy Street Records.
This is Richard Stuverud. And this is the State of Love and Trust.
The State of Love and Trust.
The State of Love and Trust.
Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Feed that algorithm.
Love's open and chest. Look, my watch be crashed.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the State of Love and Trust. It's a Pearl Jam podcast, and I'm one of your two hosts, Jason Kerepesi, and alongside me, as always, is
Paul Ghiglieri.
Paul. You look fabulous.
I'm feeling good.
Well, but
Feeling
you
good.
look
Feeling
fabulous.
Good. I look fabulous, due in no small part to this t-shirt here, State of Amorica podcast t-shirt. If you're wondering why I'm wearing a State of Amorica podcast t-shirt, is a little precursor to one of our mailbag questions coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love your answer. I was actually alluding to the fact that we have new cameras.
Yes, there's also that.
We now have the exact same camera.
We do.
I think it's a little higher res, which is nice. Because honestly, if you didn't come for the analysis, you came for the crow's feet. Am I right?
Yeah, there's that, but there's also the fact that if you were actually being honest, it was you felt like I was bringing you down. You felt
Not
like
at
there
all.
was some subpar visuals happening here,
Well,
and
I
I
couldn't
had
see
to
your shirts.
elevate my game.
I couldn't see your. We'd be seeing. We wouldn't be seeing State of Amorica. We'd be seeing State
This is true.
because you couldn't see the entire
Not
shirt.
stiff.
What's going
just
on?
Sta.
Yeah, exactly.
We always enjoy seeing stiff. So.
That's true. If you're watching on YouTube, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, won't you? And if you're listening only to this, Paul.
Oh gosh, what should you do? You should rate, review, and subscribe on your preferred podcast platform of choice. Feed that algorithm. Feed it because we need it.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, speaking of feeding, Paul, our fundraiser of the month does exactly that. It is the World Central Kitchen. They are the July fundraiser of choice. You've got B-roll, you've got a QR code, you've got a link in the description of the pod. They have served over 500 million meals worldwide. They were integral in helping out those displaced during the wildfires here at the beginning of the year. They are on the ground in Gaza. They are on the ground in all parts of the world where people need food. So bless their hearts, and we can help them out by throwing a few bones their way. So scan that QR code, get to our Instagram bio, and tap on the link there. $5 or more, you get the stickers, you get the pins. You know, you get these little guys. Are you chucking them? Did you chuck it?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Oh, okay.
They're coming.
It's coming.
They're coming. But I'll tell you what, though. I got to say, it is amazing to me how we live in a world where we are able to mass produce food on a scale that has never been seen before, and yet we still have so many people across the globe that are suffering from hunger. So this continues to be and will always be a very worthy cause.
Yeah. So please go ahead and give generously, and I will remind you that the greatest donator to World Central Kitchen will get this. It is The Last of Us. Can I get it in frame? The Last of Us. You can see my ring light if you're watching. Otherwise, you're hearing me struggle through this. The Last of Us EP, 12-inch, and it's got 4 songs on it. It's got Future Days, All or None, and then a live version of Future Days from Ohana, and a redux of Present Tense. And there's some people were a little confused as to what was on that cut of Present Tense, Paul. And in the latest newsletter, Josh Evans told us exactly what that was all about. And it was actually going back 9 years to when Mike McCready laid down some fresh acoustic guitar, and Josh blended that with some original guitar and some original drums and bass, some original Ed, but also some new Ed singing. So it was kind of like a Frankenstein of the eras, if you will. So that's really cool. If you want to help the show, Patrons One Way, we have such a great community over there. I swear to God, every day is gangbusters on the Discord server. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. It is such that I wait in the shadows and I observe.
People ask for you. Where's Paul? And he just he sneaks up like a jaguar.
That's exactly what I do.
Out of that,
like a raptor out of the bushes.
Clever girl. Insert your meme as you wish. So Patreon's a good place to be if you want to, hang out with a great group of people and some extra content over there as well. There's a Patreon giveaway each month. This month's giveaway is the Andy Wood edition of the 90 Original Mystery Box. That's I think a quarterly thing that 90 the Original does. The first one was Andrew Wood specific. I think some B-roll might have been on your screen a moment ago. So it's Andy Wood month. It's Mother Love Bone month. 35 years since Apple came out. So why not give away the 90 Original box set of Andy Wood? So that could be yours if you're a patron in the month of July. Other than that, I'm wearing some stuff, Paul, that one could procure to help the show as well. I got a brand new. This is a Patreon only T-shirt.
I dig it.
You got to be a patron. See that?
Yeah.
Got a little guy over here too on the thing. So, and there's a black version of this too. And there's a bunch of stuff, and that helps us do a lot of cool stuff. As this episode comes out, I will have already been in Seattle at the Chris Cornell birthday celebration festival that Anita and others put on in Seattle. As of we're taping this, I have not yet gone, Paul. Can you imagine?
Well, that's okay, because the next time we tape it, you're going to tell me all about it.
I sure will. So there you go. That's it. And you know what? We thought to ourselves last week was rough. It was heavy.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Matt leaving the band. So how about we ease back into the normal routine, Paul? What do you think about that?
I like that idea. I think that the listeners, the viewers, and the two of us could use a little smooth landing on this one. So
what we're gonna do is
cruise into some light fare. How about that?
Yeah, we took some mailbag questions. We put it out there on social media, put it out there to the patrons. What do you guys want to ask us? It could be Pearl Jam related. It could be not related. It could be whatever you want. And so we got all the questions in a list here. We're going to pick a bunch of them. And then at a certain point, we'll be like, all right, that's it. And we're going to move on. But we also have a segment we haven't done in a long time, Paul, called Over Under, where we choose the most overrated track on a record and the most underrated track on a record. And it's been a minute because I think we've done just about every other record, but we haven't done Dark Matter.
This is the truth.
So maybe we should split up the overrated and the underrated and put the old, like a double stuff Oreo, put the mailbag in the middle.
I was thinking peanut butter sandwich, but we can go Oreo.
Oh, that's fine. What's your favorite kind of sandwich?
Kids. I don't know why. My favorite kind of sandwich. Oh God.
First question.
Just exactly. just give me a big sandwich, tomato, onion, lots of different meats.
What's your meat? What's your deli meat?
I like a good like oven roasted turkey, but I love some prosciutto on there. Maybe some bologna from time to time.
Bologna.
I'm not a ham sandwich kind of guy though. So.
Not me neither.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I could really go for a pastrami.
Like the meatball sandwiches, those never do it for me. You like hot ones though? Like a hot pastrami sandwich, like melted cheese on there. You stay cold.
Like a Reuben?
Yeah, if you like rye.
I do like rye.
Well, there you go.
A marble rye.
Rye? Are we talking about sandwiches?
I don't know. I don't know how we got there. Anyway,
we got here.
let's do the most underrated Dark Matter song first, and then we'll go to a mailbag, and then we'll come and finish off with the overrated, and then we'll do our lyric and live cut. Sound good?
Okay, I like that plan.
The people are like, you've been talking for 8 minutes. What the shit is going on right now? Well, let me scroll my notes, people. Okay, let's scroll to the notes. Here we go. Okay, so we're doing underrated first. Paul, you want to go first? Or want me to go first?
Why don't you go first this time?
All right, sir.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see if we're gonna have the same answers here because we've talked Dark Matter so much in the last year that okay. Well, let's find out right now. All right. So for me, my underrated song is gonna be Rack Respond.
Okay. All right. I like it.
This song, I think early on, was grating to some people because of how Ed sings the chorus. I mean, you even had a problem with it for a bit of time there.
I did.
But I think the greatest redeemer, at least at the time for you specifically, was the pre-chorus guitar, right? The little arpeggio thing that you liked.
Like that.
I'll tell you though, having seen it a number of times on the Dark Matter tour, it is one of the most fun songs in the live setting off that record. And when I go back to listen to the studio cut, I feel like the energy is with me. It comes alive inside of me because I'm brought back to the moments in the stadiums or in the arenas where it was pulsating me. The Devo style hi-hat thing in the chorus, the frenetic pace, Jeff's piercing 8-string bass, obviously the face-melting guitar solo from Mike. And I do believe I complimented that solo quite strongly in our original review way back in the day, 18 months ago, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I think I called it maybe the best on the record outside of Waiting for Stevie.
Oh.
I can't ignore the fact that the times we live in now, it makes the song more viable. It makes the song more apropos and more necessary. And I think that that's helpful. It was necessary a year ago as well, but it feels even more prescient and more thoughtful today. And I think because I think a lot of people were like, this is weird. The way Ed's doing the chorus is a little strange. We're not used to the hi-hat thing that Matt's doing. I don't know. But for me, it's really become a beacon. What do you think?
I do not disagree. The song has really grown on me, but I think it has more to do with the messaging. I think it has a lot more to do with the salient point of how profound and evocative it is to respond instead of reacting to situations. And the more I think about how important it is to do that, the more I appreciate the song. So I would say that while the delivery of that set of lyrics doesn't necessarily grab me to this day, the signal behind it certainly does. So I'm with you on that.
So that's your choice?
No.
Oh, okay. What is your choice for most underrated song on the album?
Oh, gosh. I thought about not telling you.
Oh, no.
But how much fun would it be if I won't tell? Huh?
Underrated? People fucking love this song.
I'm not so sure. I feel like Won't Tell is one of those songs that my first choice was Running, actually. That was the one I was going to go with just because I feel like that song, there's this enigmatic, dad. I feel like they nailed it, obviously, on the previous record. And when they finally honed in that sound, and on Super Blood Wolf Moon, and I feel like now that they've got it, that they can go back and do it. There's something like that you just get like Sex Pistols and you just get like the Ramones, and there's just something with the callbacks. It's just a great punk song. That being said, there's something powerful about Won't Tell that I think is underappreciated on this record. I think it's going to go down as one of the better songs in the catalog when we look back like 10 years from now. Really? I say that I mean, how much did we gush about Gigaton? How much Gigaton did we get on this tour?
Almost none.
All right. I would be surprised if Won't Tell falls into that category. There's this universal sense of like very, very personal pain. But at the same time, it's coupled with this hidden admiration and affection and desire for somebody. And it harkens back to, and I've referenced this trilogy a few times, that Before trilogy, the Richard Linklater films. So the first film, you have Jesse meeting Celine, and they're young, and they're in their 20s, and it's almost like this, not ill-fated love, but it's like she's the one that got away. Well, flash forward 10 years later, they finally make the sequel to the film, and they played into that. They actually made the film 10 years later than they thought they were going to make it, but when it finally comes together, I hate giving this away, but these films have been out for 20 years at this point. So if you haven't seen it already, anyway, so he's married now, right? And she's kind of got her life too.
Clutch the pearls.
So, exactly. So here you're in this situation where you're reignited with somebody that you can't be with. It's not. It's more nuanced. It's more complicated than that. And I go back to something that you brought up when we talked about the song recently, where you were like losing your lid.
Oh my
How do you
God.
not tell this person?
Gotta tell him.
You got to say it, right? But at the same time, for you, it was like it's a no-brainer. You just have to do it. But what if you're at a place in your life where it's not so simple? And I think of those characters where you've built a life with somebody else, and suddenly you meet this person. You're like, well, this was the trajectory of my life that I've never been able to let go of. But at the same time, life put me on a different path, and yet now here I am. It's like these two things have intersected. So what do I do? I don't know. So I feel like there's just something magnetic about the song in that sense. You know what I mean? That internal focus that is very external on most of the rest of the record. It's just this moment of reflection. I think it's a very.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Because I know that you love the song, and a lot of people in our Discord, our patrons, love the song. We often do these little polls, kind of like rating the song, all time or beast. I love it, really good, meh, miss, whatever. And I remember when Won't Tell happened, it was like almost all like top couple of options there, and I just don't know that I've seen a lot of people not really like it. I feel like I'm in the vast minority. So when we talk about underrated, is it really or are you just saying it's even better than that?
I think it's better than that.
Okay.
I'm saying that I think it's up there with Dark Matter, with Wreckage. When you talk about this album, people bring up Waiting for Stevie, they bring up Scared of Fear, they bring up Dark Matter, they bring up Wreckage. When you think about the singles that were released, you could have led with this. I mean, there's an emotional depth. There's a musical refinement. There's a lyrical maturity to this song that I feel like supersedes so much of what else is on the record, especially when you compare it and contrast it to the song that I think is actually overrated on the album. And I just think it marks an artistic evolution for the band. It's how do I say this? There's like a space in between all these songs, and this is the only song that like inhabits it well, I guess is the best way for me to describe that. I don't know. There's just a dynamic range to it. I don't know. There's emotional nuance. There's so much happening in this song that it's. Every time I could wax poetic on this one for hours, as you can see. But especially like that ending. You know what I mean? Like there's this cathartic feel to it, and it's soaring. And there's not a lot of moments on the record that like really go there in a way that you had.
I think I would disagree with that, but.
Really?
Nevertheless,
like, really go there like that high?
No. Yes. I will say though that to my own criticism, I think you have, and rightly probably, criticized me for calling certain songs and other records the most underrated, and you were like, "It's not underrated. Everyone likes this song." And now I've been like, maybe. So maybe I dial back my questioning of you 10%.
How much of Dark Matter would you say is melodic?
Melodic.
It's to me, it's the most melodic composition on the entire record. I would say the ending of that song is the most melodic moment.
Maybe
both on this record and on Gigaton combined.
I mean, you put me on the spot here.
So if I'm taking it to that degree, where I'm saying the last two records, like the last 8 years at this point,
but does most melodic
five to
equal
6
best or equal favorite?
Well, I say most melodic in the most complimentary of ways. I don't mean it just in an arbitrary.
Well, no,
way,
my question was: is that like the first thing that you're going to judge a song by is its melody?
No, well, I've already said that the lyrics, I think, paint a very complex, nuanced picture of a feeling and an emotion and a context and a situation that cannot easily be summed up, and that, quite frankly, doesn't have necessarily a resolution. And I think that actually plays into what makes the song what it is and why it's special, and it actually elevates it. So I don't know. I think it's easy to just pick a song that, like, oh, we're going to do 10. What's an underrated song? I'll pick Deep, because how many people say Deep is their favorite song off 10, or if I'm going to do verses, I'll pick Rat. I mean, I feel like it doesn't have to be a song that is necessarily unheralded. I feel like it can be a song that is generally liked, but here I am saying, well, is it though? I mean, I
listen, as far as you liking the song, yes, you really like the song. But the word underrated.
iTunes. I'm curious.
To
like,
me means
what
most people
are the
would
top,
not rate it as highly as you would.
What are the most downloaded songs? The top purchased songs off of this record?
Apple Music.
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
I would imagine
let's
Wreckage,
see.
Dark Matter, Running. Probably
I'm
the
going to look it up right now. I'm going to look it up.
I thought you had it in front of you.
No, I don't. And so this is the beauty of editing, is that by the time I get it up, you will have deleted all of this.
Have I?
Let's see.
So what does Apple Music tell you is the most popular songs?
Okay. So according to Apple Music downloads, Dark Matter is number one. Most popular, most downloaded song. Followed by Running, strangely enough. Then there's Wreckage.
No, all three were singles.
Correct, yeah. Then Setting Sun, which I think I attribute largely to its presence on the tour. Then there's Waiting for Stevie, rightfully so. Finally, in the middle, we have Won't Tell. I would put Won't Tell second or third. No worse than third on this record. So I would say it's at least number 2.
All right, so you're really like skimming the definition of underrated to match your point here. All right.
I mean, if I said React Respond, I'll give you that. That's the least downloaded song.
Ho! Look at that.
I'll give you that. Beaten only by Got to Give and Upper Hand. Both of which, by the way, I would say are genuinely well regarded and adored by the fans.
They are. Yeah. I don't know. People are yelling or people are clacking on the keyboards right now telling us why we're both wrong, so that's fine. And they can tell us why we're wrong later when we do our overrated song. But now we're gonna do some mailbag questions. So some of them might be hard, some of them are probably kind of easy, some of them kind of go together, so maybe we'll try and combine them. I'm going to start with a question for you, Paul.
Okay.
Derek asks, will the Giants go get a playmaker and make a run at the division, or at least the wild card?
Well, theoretically, or I should say technically, the trade for Rafael Devers would qualify as going for a playmaker. So I guess we did
you guys get him?
Yeah, we traded for Devers.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
But before the All-Star break, so I mean, he's battling a growing and back issue. So if Derek is asking, are we going to make another play? I would say it depends on how the boys look coming out of the break. I think if they, lose 10 out of the first 15.
You sound like a manager. Oh yeah, the boys are a little sore. We'll see how they come out of the break. Do you want to? We should opposite thing here. So pick one. No, I'll answer it first.
Okay.
I can't answer that Giants question.
Let me.
And by the way, I have not thought about any of these answers yet, so it's going to be a real flow of consciousness.
That's fair. I think that's fair. Here's one for you. This is from Chris. Good question from Chris. When do we get another concert film? Is it a Dark Matter tour film? Is that a possibility? Especially since there was already such a heavy video component, and with it being such a triumphant end for this iteration of the band. What do you think?
I absolutely want one. I'll tell you that much. And we spoke to Rob Sheridan, who did all those fabulous visuals last summer. And we asked him, do you see that happening? And would you be involved? Because you were involved with the Nine Inch Nails concert DVDs years ago. So why wouldn't you be involved? That would be a great way to do it. And at the time, he was like, I don't know nothing about that. It's hard to know with these guys, because they just do whatever they feel like doing. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. Like, you would think there's so many things that other bands do that, like, from a marketing standpoint or a timeline standpoint or merch standpoint, it's like, that's the right move. You got to do that now, and then you do that, and you do that, and that's how you keep your name in the papers and blah, 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 blah. Pearl Jam doesn't give a shit. They throw stuff out there if they feel like it. They don't do anything if they don't feel like it. There's no rhyme or reason to a lot of this stuff. Obviously, people are back there, coordinating something, but it's far, far less scrutinized, what the response would be or when to do things than other bands would do. At least is my opinion based on. Yeah. So I think it would be smart to do. Obviously, they film everything. We know that. And we saw, I think, a couple of cuts from, I want to say Vancouver and Seattle both got like edited cuts of like Scared of Fear and Wreckage, I think was what it was. So, could they do a touring band style thing? Probably. Do they want to spend the money to do it? I don't know. But considering we've got an open timeline, why not fill it with a concert film?
Yeah.
Pay homage to Matt Cameron.
When you're looking
that's
for,
what I would say.
That's a good answer.
What do you think?
I think they should, and I think we do. I think we memorialize Matt Cameron's final tour with Pearl Jam in HD for sure. I think we do get one.
I like it. So Rich asks, now that the Dark Matter tour is over, which songs do you think will remain a part of the show in whatever iteration it takes for the next tour? Or will it be like Gigaton, where eventually the entire album becomes distant memory?
Let's see. I think you're going to hear Dark Matter. I think you're going to hear Wreckage a lot. That's an easy one. I think you're going to hear Won't Tell. I really do. I think that Running will get a lot of play. And Setting Sun is one I'm curious about. I'd be curious to see if they continue to rotate that one in. A song like Pendulum was such a heavy presence on the Gigaton tour. And then we barely heard it on this one, right? So we'll see.
I would say I'm with you. I think Dark Matter and Wreckage 100% will have semi-regular appearances because people really like those songs and they sound great. I think everything else on the album... No, because they stopped playing it a lot on the spring run. They've had to tune it down a half a step as well. It's a harder song for Ed to sing. So I would say that those two songs for sure will get love. Everything else is kind of a wild card. I would hope that Setting Sun gets an opportunity to be one of those rotational closers. Rockin'. You know my opinion on Rockin' in the Free World. That could not show up for another 5 years and I'd be happy. But not that it isn't a great song, but I'm just kind of sick of it. But that and Baba and Indifference and Ledbetter all kind of like swim in those last 2 or 3 spots of the show. I think Setting Sun would be wise to keep every handful, maybe 3 times a tour, bring it out kind of thing. But the rest of them, I mean, who knows? And we'll have more questions on future stuff, so maybe we can speak more to that in a bit.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go next?
I'm going here, pal.
Okay.
That's where I'm
Talk
going.
to me.
So Abrahones asks, what about Steve Gorman, Black Crowes for drummer? You had some pretty concrete thoughts on your speculations last week. I was pretty non-committal across the board.
You were.
I hand this one to you.
What a guy. What a guy. Hot potato. So Steve Gorman, listen, great drummer. The thing is, and I think a lot of people were talking in our Discord about it and online at all, was that the thing with these guys is it's all about relationships, right?
Yeah.
You got to be able to fit in with these guys on a personality level. Anybody who's going to come in and play for them is going to have the chops. It's do you have the personality to fit with what they want to do, how they want to run their tour, how they want to... Well, because at this point, honestly, they're 60, 61, 62, and anybody that they're going to bring in, I feel has got to be just cool with whatever they want to do. The days of having a proper member as the drummer, I think are probably gone. I think whoever comes in is going to be like great buds with the guys, like a Chad Smith kind of is, or anybody in that world where they're really good friends. But it's like, listen, we're in the sunset of the career. It's not going to be as maybe gelled as Matt was for 27 years. And of course, I mean, over 27 years, you're going to be able to create synergy that you can't in 5 or 10 if the drummer, if whoever it is stays around for that long. So I don't know that they have a relationship with Steve Gorman. Not that he wouldn't be able to do the job, but it just doesn't seem like the fit that they would choose based on my knowledge of their relationship with him, which isn't much of anything, but I've never heard them being buds, as opposed to a guy like Chad, for example, or Steven. So,
Or Josh.
or John. Well, Freeze or Klinghoffer.
Klinghoffer.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole, yeah. Klinghoffer's a interesting subject. All right, you got one?
Yes. So there's a lot of questions here, which I love, and I think we can bank some of these into another mailbag soon. But here's one from Johnny. Thoughts when we might get a new single, or one from the Vault release, or a Lost Dogs 2?
Well, I think this
I'm
year
leaning towards
is,
a Lost Dogs 2. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the next thing that we'll get would be a Lost Dogs 2. I think based on the reaction to the leak of stuff that came out a few months ago that was quickly and the fact that Stone has mentioned that there's more, and it's been 12 years since Lost Dogs came out. I would think. Good.
Don't you think part of it is also closing the book on their time with Matt? You know what I mean?
That too.
This is so.
I think it's almost not that they're contractually obligated, but kind of like how when they did Rearview Mirror, that was the bookend to Sony. You know, this could be like another reason to put it out, is to kind of bookend that chapter and say,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I would say 2025 is going to be a wash. Just put your Pearl Jam stuff away. It's not coming back out. Your tour stuff, it's not coming back out for the rest of the year. But 26, who knows? Maybe there's a can't deny me moment where they just decide, we'll drop something, because now we feel like we've secured the drummer in the background. We haven't announced it yet, but we've secured the drummer. Here's a thing. Here's the first. Maybe it was like when they finally pick the drummer, they go in and just crank out just a song, whatever flows that day. Maybe they come down here, hang out with Andrew, and just bust something out, and they just put it out and say, hey, new chapter. This just oozed out of us in an afternoon. And like that makes sense to me, because it feels super unplanned. Like, let's just see what happens kind of thing. And if it tickles their fancy. And I think that's the way that it'll go down sometime next year. But I couldn't tell if it was January or December.
Agreed.
You touched on it a little bit in the Thank You, Matt episode, but how likely is it now that the band is going to roll into a greatest hits or wind down mode and just tour for a few more years versus having a new record?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, there were some folks did have the sense that this was quietly their last album, and that they would make an announcement at some point and say, hey, we decided after X amount of years that it's time to slow things down. I don't know if this is the type of band that wants to handle it that way, or if the type of band that wants to say, this is our last record, this is our last tour. There's such a rabid clamoring for tickets and seeing them, and I almost wonder if they, like, on one hand, and we talked about this with Shihan before as well, and Stipp, I think too, I don't see them going off quietly like that, because I feel like that there's a community here. And for them to do that, it's almost like, well, what if somebody didn't get a chance to see you? But then at the same time, not everybody could see you, right? So even if you told us this is going to be the last tour, you can only do so many dates in so many cities. Those tickets are going to, you know what I mean? It'd be through the roof at that point. So,
yeah, I wonder if they knew that a tour was going to be the last one, if they didn't say anything until it was over, just so that there wasn't a price gouging kind of situation. Because
it'd
even
just be
though
a shame for folks that couldn't,
I know.
And then now they'll never get the chance.
And the thing is, even though they did the fan to fan, and they kept ticket prices at, I think it was like $190 after fees, so that 10% of the venue was like that PJ Premium thing, where it was ridiculous prices. And you couldn't sell. You had to go fan to fan exchange exactly what you paid for if you wanted to buy it on the secondary market. But there were people who still, I don't know how you do it, maybe I'm being naive, but people would get their tickets through Ticketmaster and then put them up on StubHub for crazy prices. And I don't really know how you're able to do that, how you're able to get around that, but that was happening. And you can imagine if they were like, all right, these 11 dates are going to be the last 11 dates we ever do, it'd be mayhem.
It would be. Yeah.
Also, I'm going to say, do you know how fucking stoked they were on Dark Matter? Like
They were jazzed.
so
It was like a new lease on life, creatively speaking.
It's the best stuff we've ever done. Ed said multiple times. I have no. I do not think that band, that group of guys, is content to sit on what they have. I think they're always looking forward. I think they're always looking to do new things. I mean, you look at all the side project they do, they're always working on something. If it's a solo thing, if it's a side project thing, if it's Stone with his Loose Groove label, they're always looking to do new stuff and get creative and have an outlet for the creativity. And every couple of years or whatever it is, they get together and pull the creativity inwards towards Pearl Jam. And I feel like until someone says, you know what, I'm good. I feel like that's what they want to do. I honestly, I don't think it's going to, listen, they were always doing, and I said it before, where there was only 1 year they didn't actually do a show in front of an audience. I think it was 2017. Every other year, there was at least a small tour. Just always a tour every year.
Yeah.
And they love the tour. We know this. But they're not content to do that. They know that they're going to do that because that pays the bills. It keeps their crew, which is their family, well fed. Like, there's reasons to do it. Obviously, they enjoy doing it to a degree, but making new music, being creative, that's what they love to do.
Yeah, agreed.
So I think we'll get another record. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's where I lean to.
All right, what do you got for me? There's so many here.
You went to a few more shows than I did this tour. So, of the opening acts on the Dark Matter tour, who surprised or impressed you the most? And you could limit it to the ones you saw if you'd like.
Listen, I did not see Teen Jesus and the Gene Teasers. We didn't get into the Nashville show in time to see them. I also did not see in person Dead Pioneers. However, I have seen many clips of Dead Pioneers, and I would have been very excited to be in the middle of that because it is such a provocative style of music. And I remember Greg was talking about the people that were in the audience who maybe didn't care so much, and like, that's an energy. I know it's a weird energy, but that's an energy. And I would have been super excited to kind of be a part of that because I think that's interesting to be a part of something that's not quite giving and taking in the way that you'd think it would. But we saw the Glenn Hansard's band in Chicago, and fuck, their band is so good. Glenn is so good.
Tight. It's a tight operation there.
So I'm willing to say them. Who opened in at the Forum? Do you remember?
Oh gosh,
I can't remember who it was.
I don't remember now myself.
Why can't I remember who it was? Someone's yelling at me. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was.
Look at your concert poster.
I know, right? Is it,
That's one of the ones I didn't buy. Second one, anyway.
That's my Chicago one. I have my LA ones somewhere in the thing. Let's do, which non-Pearl Jam act have you most enjoyed interviewing over the last 5 years? Rosemary.
Rosemary, that is really hard to answer. I mean, every time and this is such a lame answer from me, but every time we have, every time we have a guest, the guest, I should say, or guests, sometimes it's more than one, always brings something unique. And what I can tell you is that every time we say goodbye to a guest, invariably, there's always a moment where either Jason looks at me or I look at Jason and I say, or he says, that was a lot of fun. Like, I really enjoyed chatting with that person, or that person was a riot, or that person really shared some things I wasn't expecting to hear. Yeah. So everyone brings something different to the table when it comes to these conversations. And I think that I'm just too hard pressed to narrow it down to just one or two. I feel very fortunate that we have the opportunity to talk to every one of them. You know what I mean? I think that's been one of the great joys of doing this, is that it's afforded us the opportunity to have these kinds of conversations and not just ask the questions that are pressing for us, but have a forum to ask the questions that are pressing to all of you.
You know, I'm going to fold in another question here that was asked because it kind of it works here too. Simone asked, she goes, I am very chatty in real life, but I imagine if I were being recorded, I'd overthink. So I'm more asking about your process in general, I guess, of talking on doing this thing. And she goes, I was so interested in how frankly you commented on, I guess she's talking about me, commented on Dave Cruson not really having maybe the health to come back to the band. When his name came up, I had the same instinct, but I wondered how I would say it, especially being Dave as a former guest. And I think the reason why I folded that in is because for me, it's like, number one, everybody that comes on this show, I want to talk to. I genuinely want to talk to them. If it's a Pearl Jam related person, if it's a band that has nothing to do with Pearl Jam, we had Tim Montana on. He was hilarious. So many
James
great
and
stories.
the Cold Gun.
James and the Cold Gun. I spoke to Chris and Tom from the from Cardinal Black. Like, there's always these artists and photographers we've had on. Everybody comes on here because we want them on here, and thankfully they say yes. And the questions that we ask are questions that we would ask them even if the cameras weren't rolling. They just happened to be. And, like we were fortunate enough to go hang with Kevin Martin at a bar and have a few of these and just talk. And, just about all the conversation is kind of an extension of what it was on this show. So I think to both questions, it's like, they're all fun because I want to talk to all of them, and they all offer something interesting and different that I want to learn. I'm a very inquisitive person. I'm a very curious person. That can be annoying to some people, but I find it helpful in this space. And so when I'm talking to Ward Sutton about his posters, like, I really want to know. And I've got detailed follow-ups in my head because I really want to know. And Paul does too. And the same thing for, obviously when McCready was on, or name your guest. And I think the reason why it's so easy for us to talk to them is we've been doing this for a little bit now. So we're just kind of used to how this happens. But two,
is this year 5 for us at this point?
we're in the middle of year. Actually, this is technically the beginning third of year 6. But I mean, Paul, you tell me, when it comes to these guests that are high profile guests, you might have a little bit of nerves, but if you do the prep and you know the material, you just become yourself. And I don't find it to be. I just talk. I just have a conversation.
Yeah, for sure. I think her point is well taken. I mean, you know what I mean.
I get it 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're having a conversation with somebody, and obviously you want it to be positive and productive. And the last thing you want to do is put your foot in your mouth and say something in a way that alienates or rubs that guest in the wrong way. That being said, though, like, we craft these questions in advance and we bounce a lot of it off of each other. And, we'll always ask each other, hey, what do you think of this question? Is this going to land right? Where should we put this one? And there's times where, we're going back and forth in the middle of an interview with a guest, and Jason will say, skip the next one, move on to that one. Or, hey, you know what? And sometimes just on the fly, I'll grab a question from down here and I'll move it up here because the guest segued to that already, So you just start getting into the natural flow of things. And I think that from what all of you watching and listening have shared with us, those of you who've generously been willing to share with candor, and for that we're very grateful. A lot of you have said that it just feels very natural and conversational, and I think that's not planned. We go into it that way. We approach it as, let's just sit down and just shoot the breeze. Obviously, we come prepared, but we want it to feel like we're just hanging out, enjoying a beverage and shooting the breeze.
And part of it is you mentioned preparation. There is an old adage with guitar playing, which is you learn all the scales, you learn all the chords, and then you forget them because it becomes a part of you and just happens to come out. And you just happen to know where everything is, all the transitions, all the things are. And it's kind of the same way. I mean, we go over these questions. I mean, I read them probably like 5-6 times over just to make sure that the wording is right, or I like how it goes from one thing to the next. Even though, as Paul said, the guest could be like, jump to an answer that would pivot perfectly off of something 5 questions later. And for somebody like Dave, Simone, you mentioned Dave. Dave was very candid with us, and we're grateful for that. And so if he's going to be candid with us, I feel it's only respectful to be candid back outwardly where he might hear it. And I said on last week's episode, I love Dave to death. He's a super sweet guy. He's a hell of a drummer. But I don't know that he is in the right space to handle a tour. I don't know.
Jason, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, like it's in the service and honor of that candor. You know, if somebody's willing to come out and say, hey, you know what? This is something that I've battled with, and I'm proud of the progress and the growth
Exactly.
that it has come out of that process. To pretend that that's not a part of who that person is.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, in a lot of ways, it's almost like we're doing justice to the long road of growth that has transpired in Dave Crusen's life that he deserves all that credit for. And to say, hey, you know what? We don't know, you know what I mean? Whether or not that's something that Dave would be ready for or even want to entertain, given the ramifications and the heavy lift that comes with it. I don't think that's an unfair it's unfair conjecture by any stretch of the imagination. And I think to say, well, why isn't he doing it? Of course he should be doing it. I think that type of a reaction would actually be insulting and do a disservice to everything that he shared in his conversations with us. Because it's like, did you hear what I've gone through? It's like, you don't think I factor that into the calculus as part, you know what I mean? So
it's kind of like when you have, there's a band where you're like a fan, but you're not like a super hardcore fan. So you only know what you read in Rolling Stone or whatever. And so you're like, well, why can't that band get back together? Just get on stage and play. And it's like, you have no idea what kind of things are going on under this. You know, there's a reason why Brad Wilk played drums on the Black Sabbath tour in 2013. Okay. Mm-hmm. There obviously something was going on where they couldn't even stand to be on stage. And you got to respect that relationship is real. And it is what it is. Brad comes out and
still human business, right? It's still a human business. Great question, by the way, because it's
yes, absolutely. What do you got for me? Or is it my turn? I don't remember.
I think, I don't remember. I think I asked one and then you decided to add one to it. I think you folded one into it. Do
you want to go?
I can. Here we go.
Okay.
So let's go with this one. How many albums do you think Pearl Jam has left in them? And when do you think the next one will release?
Prognostication time. Well, I'm going to ask you this question first, Paul. Do they work with Andrew Watt again?
No.
Really?
No. I think that was... They didn't work with Josh on the next album, right? I think that they need something different every time, I think.
Well, they had Brendan for like 5 albums in a row.
That's what I'm saying. And then suddenly they've had a different producer for the last 2 consecutive records. I think that speaks to something. I mean, I could be way off base, and I can see them wanting to go back to Andrew, perhaps in 2 albums, or wanting to go back to Josh or to Brendan. I'm not sure, but I can just as easily see them saying, we want to try something with this producer because this is the right person to channel out of us, based on what we need right now as artists. So,
well, to answer the question, I'm going to say I think they do go back to Andrew. I'm basing that a lot on my gut, but there also is things where Stone was saying he had a lot of fun. It was quick. Mike likes quick too. Ed felt, I mean, obviously Ed is the reason why they had Andrew come in because of his experience working with Andrew on the Earthling album. So, and listen, obviously, as many of us know, I mean, Ed is the kind of the final say in a lot of this kind of stuff. If he's not vibing with it, it's not going to happen. That's kind of the same thing for a lot of lead singers. They are the face of these organizations, as we found out in the 90s, and much to his chagrin. And I think that with that said, I would not be surprised if Andrew came back into the fold. Now, the beauty of that is that he likes to work fast. So if they come out of their hibernation sometime next year and say, all right, well, here's a handful of people that we know that we are interested in maybe trying out, and they pick their person, and then like I said, they come down here to Andrew's place and maybe spend an afternoon, and all of a sudden the afternoon turns into 5 days, and all of a sudden you got half an album done. I don't think 26 happens, but I think 27 is a strong possibility. And beyond that, I don't know. I think there's at least one more. But beyond that, feels odd because do they want to be Rolling Stones up to the 80s? I feel like Jeff would not want to do that personally.
I don't see them as a legacy band, a band that just, this is their identity. I feel like Pearl Jam. Yeah. So I would love them to keep making music.
Sure.
As long as, but I want them to keep making music as long as they want them.
They want to.
They want to keep making.
If they feel compelled, it's not going to sound great.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it'll sound better than most shit, but it won't sound great for them.
Correct.
That's what I'm trying to say. So many here, Paul. Let's do a couple more.
Yeah, let's do one from you and one from me.
Okay. All right. So Bev, who, if you don't recall, Bev was part of our Australian fan roundtable years ago.
We got to do those again. We got to get into
those. That's
something that I miss.
Yeah. So Bev asks, what one song off of each album is Matt's best?
Oh, gosh.
So basically binaural to Dark Matter.
Yeah. I'll go backwards, I guess. I would say off Dark Matter. Let's see. I'm rattling off the songs that are Matt's. So what do we have here? We've got.
Well, I think just what he plays on.
Just what he plays on. Gosh.
Because otherwise, we're going to be like scrolling through like there's only
right.
so many.
I mean,
obviously, just pick the song that you think he sounds.
I would
the best
say
on.
Dark Matter. His drumming on Dark Matter is outstanding on this record.
I would agree. Dark Matter.
I would say I'm going with Dance of the Clairvoyants off of Gigaton. That was an easy one for me. So what's next? Lightning Bolt. I want to say that I don't know if Super Blood Wolf Moon happens without Matt's drumming. There's just what do you think?
I'm gonna say Whoever Said.
Interesting. Okay,
I like his drumming. I can get behind that.
I can get back, or those fills at the end of Retrograde too. I mean, that's
that's a good. I'm gonna go with that. I'll go with Retrograde. I forgot about that one. What are we on? Lightning. Backspacer.
Yes.
Maybe Got Some. The Toms.
Yeah. I can get behind that one.
And then you got yourself some Avocado. I'm gonna go Severed Hand.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to go to. I do love. Severed Hand's a good choice.
So Riot Act and Binaural.
Inside Job was good on that too.
Yeah. I'll go You Are for Riot Act.
That's exactly where I was going.
And then binaural, I would say probably Grievance.
Ooh, good call there.
Insignificance is a great shout too.
Yeah, no, that is. Yeah, those are both good ones. It's hard.
All right, pick one more before we have to get to our last bits here.
And it's one directed at both of us. So here we go.
All right.
How much do you think about how your opinions will be received when you give them? Do you find it easy to be authentic? Do you censor yourself? Has this changed as the pod has gotten more popular and you've had some really special guests on? So this is from Simone.
Oh, Simone.
Posited to both of us.
How much do you think about your own opinions? That's such an interesting question because, I mean, obviously we want our opinions heard. Otherwise, we wouldn't have started a podcast. So I guess the question is, how honest do we feel we need to be, or are we concerned with the honesty? And honestly, I don't worry about it too much. I mean, I try to make sure that I'm being fair. So if I'm bad mouthing something, I try and think about the other side, vice versa. Yeah. You know, I think as long as you're being fair, your opinion is honest and has some evidence behind it, even if people disagree with the opinion, if it's based in something. Like if I'm saying, well, that thing sucks. Why? I don't know, it just does. This would be a terrible show. So I think as long as we both have something to say and there's reason behind it, I don't really worry about it. You know, I mean, we're not out here being crazy provocative. I don't think.
I agree. We're not here looking for shock value. We're not here to rock boats to make names for ourselves. One of the very first things that you ever said at the end, or when you were promoting some of the very first episodes, was, you can continue the conversation with us, right?
Right.
And I think that's really what this is. It's been a 6-year-long conversation that we just continue to extend and sometimes revisit. So I feel that as long as we're authentic and we're thoughtful and there's intention and purpose behind what we're asking and what we share and what we say. And it's something that is worth talking about. You know what I mean?
Right.
That doesn't move the needle in any way, shape, or form. And I don't mean move the needle in terms of generating hits for us. I mean move the needle in terms of raising consciousness about what the band's music means and how it impacts and affects people's lives and how it has shaped the way we think and how we feel about the times in which we live. So, I think, does it elevate the conversation, right?
I think, too, listen, we don't shy away from the realities of life and how it pertains to the music. We've gotten heated, not at each other, but in concert about certain things. And, we might govern ourselves in the language that we use sometimes on certain things and stop ourselves short if what we're going to say doesn't apply close enough to the music itself. And there's been plenty of times where I've caught myself because I was like, listen, I could go on in my opinion about that thing, but how does it pertain to the music that we're talking about? And if it doesn't, then I'm not going to say it because, listen, there's plenty of other places to have that conversation or to get opinions on that thing. They're all out there. There's a million pods and there's a million TikTok channels and there's a million blah, 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 blah. So if you want that, there's plenty of places to go. That's not what we're here to do. We're not here to do gotcha stuff. We're not here to corner people. We're not here to ask the Today Show.
We're not looking for the sound bites, right?
I clip sound bites out for our Instagram and TikTok purely because that's how people can hear about it.
Correct.
But they're not.
You're not in this for sound bites. You know what I mean? You're not in here to find the hook that you can then pump out there. You know what I'm saying? It's, those things happen organically and naturally from just the authentic conversations that we're trying to have.
Mike McCready standing up and going to play the Reverb to Seat riff.
That's fantastic.
All I wanted him to do is tell me what amp he used. I knew it was a Strat. What amp is it, Mike? He gets up and starts playing the goddamn thing. I'm like, fuck that. What? and now that Instagram reel, I think has like 70,000. Anything like that is organic.
Yeah, it's organic, and it was a cool moment, and it was cool. A beautiful way to see Mike being Mike. And if there's 100,000 plus hits for that, we're not excited because we have 100,000 hits. We're excited that 100,000 people got to see that. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. So,
before we get to our underrated choice for Dark Matter, there is
overrated.
Overrated. Sorry, overrated. Noah asked for a tour of the studio here, and I'm gonna kind of oblige her. I'm not gonna show everything because it is a room where there's some personal stuff in here, like clothes and laundry and shit. But I got a little camera here. I'm gonna try and turn on. Let's see here. You can see the corner. So let's see if I can bring it in. So there it is. So that's the wall behind me, right? So I think it's steady there. So that's a door, and there's a sound baffling on it. There's a light right there. And then if you go down, you guys can't see this, but look at that. There's some luggage because I'm going to Seattle, and there's a pedal board, and then there's a guitar amp in a wastebasket. This is riveting content. And then you got yourself a chair and a backpack. Look at that. And you got yourself some posters and a ceiling. So, should I show in front of me? I don't know if I should.
If they want to see, the magic of production, I suppose you could peel back the curtain, Mr. Wizard.
Yeah, I show him a light, maybe. Oh, there's a light. There's a light. Look at that little light right there. And then there's a baffling. Hey. And then there's more doors. So there you go. There's the room. So
there's the room. That's where the magic happens.
There's some of the room. Anyway, let's get into it. By the way, thank you for all those questions. We didn't get to all of them, and I'm going to save the ones that we didn't get to for another time because there's some fun ones in there that kind of dive deeper into some Matt-related stuff, so we can kind of get into that later. But let's get into our overrated choice. Paul, you go first this time because I let off the last time.
Okay, so overrated.
Yes, sir.
So I don't believe dark matter, it is overrated. I could make a compelling case for why running is underrated, yet based on the popularity of streams, as you said, because it was a singular released single.
Yeah.
That would explain that. But I think for me, the easy one here is Something Special. It's actually squarely in the middle of the most downloaded songs, and
Really?
I understand the appeal for the listener. I think it's a beautiful ballad. I have a daughter myself, so in no way do I think that the song doesn't have a place necessarily in the catalog. But at the same time, I could see someone saying that feels more like an Earthling song than it does a Pearl Jam song. Whereas Brendan listened to Sleeping by Myself and said that's a Pearl Jam song, or Can't Keep is a Pearl Jam song. To me, there's something so beautifully and deeply personal about that song for Eddie that I can see it fitting beautifully on a solo record. And when I listen to that song within the context of the rest of this record, it doesn't feel like it fits for some reason. Far be it for me to tell the band which songs fit on their record.
Tell them.
But but at the same time, when I listen to it as a work of art, that is one song that thematically I struggle to see how it fits in a way that works with the continuity of the rest of the record within the context of what so many of the other songs seem to be about and seem to be saying. So I would say that in that respect, it feels like an overrated song. It feels more like a song that Eddie is just picking up a guitar and doing, as opposed to a song.
And Josh wrote it. How funny is that?
Well, there's that too, And so I think when you have Josh contributing in that way with Andrew as well, it feels far less like a Pearl Jam song and more like a side project that ended up on a Pearl Jam record. To me, anyway.
Well, I never rated it too highly to begin with, so I didn't think it was. I thought it was rated aptly, and I know some people out there, as you said, really enjoy it, and I get why there's a connection to it. But yeah, I always felt like an Ed song that could be for an Earthling 2 record as opposed to a Pearl Jam record. However, my choice for overrated off of this record is Upper Hand.
Interesting.
Yeah. I made a large part of my argument for Upper Hand being the most overrated actually on the album 1 year later review episode that we did a few months ago. And I think a lot of people love this song because it's long, it's anthemic, and I think to a degree that's right. But I also think they love like that middle section because it sounds like a Pearl Jam tribute band playing Black. It sounds like another Black style thing. I don't mean it pejoratively. I mean, it's quieter, it's clean. There's Hendrix, flurries in between, the spaces like that Mike does, like just like in Black. And it's a really nice section, but it feels like I've heard it before because I did hear it before. I heard it on Black. And as I said in the re-review, it feels like three very starkly separate pieces, and you likened it to your son with the Legos and 3 different sets of Legos and making something new. It's like, all right, that's pretty cool, but like, why not make the actual Lego? So I don't think it's as Frankenstein as 7 O'Clock is, and I think it's a far better piece than that with greater highs and I would say interesting valleys. But there's something about the crowd's reaction to that song that I just don't understand. People really, really like this song, and I'm just like, it's fine. There's a line that says, I apologize, so sorry. It's like, well, why are you saying it twice? Just say I'm sorry. That redundancy always drove me crazy. And also the way that he sings it just kind of like, it doesn't feel like a Pearl Jam vocal melody to me. It just kind of feels like something different. I don't know. It's fine. It's a fine song, but outside of what you picked, Something Special, I think it's maybe the weakest on the record. Which isn't saying it's bad, by the way, because it's a strong record. But like, people love this song, and I'm just like, it's okay. It's good. I mean, there's some great parts in it, but as a composition as a whole.
Interesting. So Pitchfork's Zach Schoenfeld said that Dark Matter plays like another solid late era Pearl Jam record, reliable but not revelatory. And he highlighted Wreckage and Upper Hand, the latter of which he said ranks among the best Pearl Jam songs of this century.
What's his name again?
Zach Schoenfeld. Pitchfork.
Zach, you're an idiot.
Now we're having Zach on the show. That's one.
Zach's coming on. Here you go, Zach. Zach, come on in. No. Listen, music's subjective, of course. It's three very obviously different acts, and it's 5.5 to 6 minutes long. I don't think it needs to be. And it was like, hey, how do we combine the verses of Black with the intro of Inside Job on like an acid trip, and then Jeremy outro, where it's just like really like soaring. Let's just put it together. I was like, no, maybe we hold on, guys. What do I know? I'm not Pearl Jam. That's the overrated choice for me. You send your comments to Paul Ghiglieri, care of 123 Podcast Street. No good.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's move on to our lyric of the week. All right, this week's lyric of the week. It's coming from Dark Matter. It's all we got left. It is Scared of Fear.
I hear the voices calling, hear the voices calling, all around my head, all around my head. Hear the voices calling, again they're calling, all around my head. And I lost my friend, this is what we become. Oh, setting sun, I'll give but I can't give up. I'll live not long enough to stop these voices calling. Stop the voices calling all around my head, as if you never left.
Okay, Paul. So Scared of Fear. This is like the bridge interlude section here. What do you make of this?
So when I look at these lyrics here, what really stands out to me with this particular song, and I think it's important to remember this within the context of the song's message. You know, these voices that are calling are all around his head. These are the voices of this generation, the voices of this scene, many of which have been lost. And have I lost my friend? Is this what we've become? One last setting sun. Great that the record opens with a song with that lyric, and then of course that becomes the title of the last song on the record. I'll give, but I can't give up. I'll live not long enough to stop these voices calling. And it's just that there's a haunting quality to the life that the members of Pearl Jam have lived. And as glorified as many may presume it to be, there's a lot of pain and there's a lot of difficult memories and beautiful memories. And I think that there's a part of you that doesn't want to stifle those voices because it allows you to get that sense that those voices have never left. But then at the same time, there's a part of you that you can't ever live that over again. You know what I mean? And so it haunts you to this day. So I think it just underscores the complexity of loss and how that oftentimes is married to the joy of having lived.
Yeah, well said. And I would say to you, I will be honest. I have a definite fear of my own mortality, and I have for a while. And I think that that's not a unique thing. I think a lot of people fear the end. But when you're closer to the end than the beginning, and you've got you've got to come to terms with that reality, or I should say you've not come to that terms with that reality, especially as you've seen so many of your peers, as you said, and close friends go too soon. It can really shroud your everyday thoughts and feelings. And you know, you got Kurt and Lane and Chris, Mark Lanigan, Mia Zapata, Andrew Wood. When great loss allowed for your success, Andrew, but also seems to punish you at the same time. Like, I understand why you'd feel like you're being haunted, as you said. And the beauty of these lyrics to me is that line there. I'll give, but I won't give up. And God damn it, Paul, right now, is we talk about our favorite band that has no drummer. That's how I feel too. That's how I feel. Like I will do what needs to be done to help our friends, our music community, and myself to get through this and to celebrate the great times, the great music, and the shared experiences. And I'll give in to feeling down when I think about the bad times or the harsh realities, but I'm not going to give up. I can't give up. And I think this is what he means. If not for him, then the people who rely on him, on the fans who support him, cheer with him, laugh with him, cry with him. And I think he acknowledges that he won't be able to outrun or outlive these feelings. Like, they are there. And maybe that's okay, because those feelings can't define us, but they can be the step to a different place. I'll concede that this is my reality, but I will not give in. I will not give up. I will not let the fear of loneliness or the end dictate how I live my life. I will not be scared of it. And I think at a 30,000-foot view, this selection, it seems ominous, it seems negative, but I keep coming back to that sentiment of not giving up, and I think that's the key. And I think, especially right now, as we see, like I said last week, Matt leaving is not a funeral.
Yeah.
It's not a funeral. It will feel like that in some ways to a lot of us for a while. And I acknowledge that. Come back to this song. Come back to this song, because I think this song might help you a little bit get past that and realize that, yeah, this might haunt you in some kind of way, but we're going to get through it because we're not going to give up.
I'm with you on that.
All right. What do you guys say? Let us know. Now it's time for the live cut of the week.
Ready to stand up!
All right, live cut of the week, Scared of Fear. It's been played 31 times. The first time was the first Dark Matter show in Vancouver on May 4th, 2024.
Mike was on fire.
And it was also played the very last Dark Matter tour show in Pittsburgh, May 18th, 2025. That is pretty interesting. 31 times. Where and when are we going to go?
Well, I think when you're struggling with something, sometimes you need to feel like you need to anchor yourself to home. So it's no surprise that the best version of this song for us happens in Chicago, Mr. Eddie Vedder, August 29th, 2024.
Oh, I'm not saying I know.
Oh yeah. That man, so much energy on that one. It was tight. I know Ed screwed up the second chorus. I don't care. He's a little out of breath. Don't care. The mic solo is fun. I like that he doesn't do like the feedback thing leading into the bridge. Like usually he ends the solo, right, and then it kind of drops down as like the halftime thing. Yeah. And usually he goes like he leads us back into he's like the little connector guy. Mm-hmm. He doesn't do it, so it's just kind of like, and that's so different. It was really, really cool. I thought it was a really fun rendition. I was there, not coincidentally. That right there, that poster.
There it is. It's a beaut.
It's a beaut. I will say, Paul, this is a song that had a lot of contenders. I think we had like 6 that we were like, these are all really good. Fine margins.
Fine margins. That's where we were playing for this one. But
you mentioned,
I think Chicago's a worthy choice.
You mentioned Seattle. I think both Seattle's really good, but
still like that Vancouver one too. But
like, first, only I think only Rival was the first ever performance was our favorite.
Wow,
I think it was that.
It happens from time to time. They just nailed right out of the gate. I think. No, I want to say Of the Girl as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't recall. That Birmingham show. I think not Birmingham. The
Bellingham.
Thank you. Bellingham
yeah.
Show.
Well, gang, there you go. Hope you enjoyed that one. And listen, as you're watching this or listening, I will have already been in Seattle, but I can't tell you what happened because I haven't been to Seattle yet.
In the meantime, you can donate and you can rate, you can review, you can subscribe on your preferred podcast platform of choice. Feed that algorithm. Feed it because we need it, and donate to a worthy cause. Feed some hungry kids. Feed some hungry people who need it a lot more than we do, quite frankly.
Paul just did all the housekeeping in one breath and then chucked about 8 stickers for those of you listening only. So yeah, there are links below for all the things that he just mentioned, the Patreon, the store, the Royal Central Kitchen. So do that, won't you? And win the... I want somebody to win this, The Last of Us EP. I want you to win this. You. Yeah, you. Looking at me right... You. Anyways. Back with you next week with more fun. And until we do, we thank you for watching and listening to
The State of Love and Trust.